kill me, so do it.
Jimmy-O here from JoBlo. Now, in 1978, moviegoers discovered one of the most iconic figures in horror, Michael Myers. Halloween, the John Carpenter-directed classic, became synonymous with the holiday, and it launched the career of the film's star, Jamie Lee Curtis. And now, we are finally coming to the end of David Gordon Green's return to Haddonfield with Halloween from 2018, Halloween Kills from last year, and finally, Halloween Ends. While that certainly appears to be the final film in the franchise, any self-respecting horror fan knows that means very little. However, it may be the final film for Miss Curtis, who gives us one last showdown with the man behind the mask. It's been 4 years since the tragic events occurred in Halloween Kills, yet it has brought new life for Laurie Strode. Since the dreaded boogeyman has seemingly disappeared from the horrific events that still haunt the town, Haddonfield has found a moment of peace. That is until something tragic occurs, something that affects a young man by the name of Corey Cunningham, played by Rowan Campbell. Having a controversial past of her own, Laurie befriends the young man and introduces her to her granddaughter, Allison. Pure evil, though, doesn't stay dormant for long. The past horrors may be coming back to terrorize Laurie, Allison, and those who finally thought the nightmare was behind them. Look, I'm a Halloween fan. All of them. My favorite is, of course, the original masterpiece. But that said, I have an affinity for every single film in the series, and yes, that means Resurrection and Rob Zombie's films. But now we have Halloween Ends, and maybe the best thing I can say about it is it's the first time that I wasn't fully aware of where the story was going to go. And yes, it's a compliment. Ends is not necessarily as scary as previous films in the series, and one issue that may frustrate fans is the lack of a central villain for half the movie. Michael, once again played by Nick Castle, and James Jude Courtney, is menacing, yet it's not quite what we're used to seeing in the previous installments. To delve too much into this might lead to spoilers, and I'd recommend avoiding them at every single turn because there will be tons of them. Another plus is a side of Laurie Strode that we've not seen since the original film. While struggling with the past, it appears she has a little happiness and calm in her life. Kinda nice to see, guys. Jamie Lee Curtis has the chance to show more range than in the previous films, and we see Laurie as someone finally coming to terms with the nightmare that has possessed her for nearly her entire life. Curtis has always been fantastic in the role, but it was nice to see the amount of depth that they attempted to bring her. The ultimate showdown promised is a satisfying one, if slightly subdued, yet it was nice to see Laurie's other introductions with Will Patton's Officer Hawkins, Kyle Richards' Lindsay Wallace, and especially Allison and Corey. Without delving too much into the character, I must praise Rowan Campbell. The actor gives a stellar performance. He brings an impressive amount of range to Corey, and it's an intriguing addition to the story. Same is true for Andy Matichuk. Playing Laurie's granddaughter for the third time has created a viable bond between Curtis and her. It's easy to find sympathy and understanding towards what they're going through, and by bringing Corey into the mix, you have new ground that hasn't been explored in this series before. Am I being vague? Hell yes I am. It would be way too easy to give certain aspects of this film away. I'm not going to do that to you guys. Now, David Gordon Green took a chance with this trilogy. Each of the three films explores a different level in how they brought Myers back. If you've been frustrated with Green's previous takes, you'll probably have a few issues with Ends. The final film in his trilogy is a far more grounded, while certainly gory, take on the boogeyman of Haddonfield. And yes, if you feel his previous efforts are more of a trick than a treat, you'll probably be extremely frustrated by some elements presented here. Halloween Ends is an ambitious slasher sequel. It's a body count that aspires to be something more, and for that, I was grateful. Halloween Ends will be divisive for many, and the third film in Green's trilogy is doubtful to earn critical raves, but very few of these movies have. What it is, however, is a unique and unsettling way to explore a familiar story. Much like recent, long-awaited sequels, Ends manages to explore the original film in a mostly satisfying way by bringing new elements as well. While it may not be perfect, it's an unexpected sequel and one still knocking around in my noggin. And the score by John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Danielle Davies brings back the energy of the original as well. As much as Strode was an essential part of the previous films, really the entire series, her final film offers her the chance to bring something fresh to Laurie, and for me, it was a satisfying and slightly risky new take. Right now, I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. That may change with further viewings. Halloween Ends arrives in theaters this Friday, and you can also check it out on streaming and Peacock. Happy Halloween, and remember to check the closet for the boogeyman tonight.